Are you taping?
Minnie, please.
So if you're taping, I'll do my on the waterfront bit, won't I? It was you, Charlie. You see that bit?
All right. So, what's going on, Steve? And so, what's all this we've been hearing?
About what?
About that night in the Samanthas.
Oh, you're joking. What's that you've been hearing? You was there,
When you totally shut yourself up.
Huh?
Do you remember?
How did I shut myself up?
You had to run out with an armed escort.
That's alright.
So Steve licking his lips just in case some birds watching it. Dear.
Dear God.
He won £100,000 on horses, and the bloke in the betting shop goes to him, look, I've got to give you a cheque. You know, £100,000 is too much money to give cash. He goes, no, I want cash. He goes, look, I've got to give you a cheque. £100,000 is too much to pay in cash. And the Irishman goes, look, either you give it to me in cash or I want my money back. I don't like things like that. Things like that I do not like.
I wasn't going to
What don't you like, Minnie?
I just put it by accident.
Well, what is it you don't like, Minnie?
I don't like nauseating, skinny little runtish face squirts like Cousin Steve over there.
Did you know you can tell, okay?
Look at the way he does it.
Yeah. Mario would
And
never
the
be the
lights went off for
same.
air, they go, buddy. Oh, God, don't spare me.
Do you want some, Andy?
No, thanks, Steve.
You sure?
Come on, Andy, turn it on me and I'll do you the Turk impression from the Godfather in the restaurant. Hold on, let me just get ready. Io, un grosso rispetto a tuo padre. Ma tuo padre, quello della medata. How about that? Can I be a film star?
I think it deserves an Oscar.
Hey, Andy.
Deserves an Oscar.
Now I'm on the waterfront in the car bit, which Robert De Niro copied in the Raging Bull. It was you, Charlie. It was you. Remember that night at the garden?
So, Minnie, you phone me up tomorrow, yeah?
Yeah.
Phone me up. And I'll find out. Why is this loose?
No, but I'm serious, I might want to come.
Yeah, fine. If you want to come, we go. It's better than...
Are you going to go with me?
What, you want to come?
Not with you.
It's a good opera, you know.
What, with you? I'll need to go to an opera with you.
Can you just remind us what
Carmen
opera?
by the famous French composer Bizet.
Can you listen? Can someone sing a few
She knows all these
soundtracks?
composers. She's
Can you sing us a bit of the soundtrack? Can someone sing us a bit? Minnie,
That's it, Andy. Come on, bloody hell. I want Pavarotti to get jealous. This is some sort of anecdote.
I think you must have some jokes up your sleeve.
Let me tell you one, okay?
Who
With
was
these two Mexicans, okay?
I like the two pistolas again.
Yeah, they
Do me a favour. I can't bear it.
You're joking.
All right, just quickly go
3
through
hours
it.
time.
Is it
A short one.
I think a little short one will won't go on
These
this.
two, there was these two Greeks, okay? And they got stranded at Las Vegas, okay? They blew all their money in the casino. Now they only had enough, okay? They needed another, what, 10 cents, okay?
You know what I mean, Harry?
They needed another 10 cents, okay, so they could get a ticket back to Cyprus. So they went up to some big shop from out of town and said, listen, can you give us 10 cents so we can go back to Cyprus? He goes, here's 20 cents, take your mate with you as well. No.
I think it's an earthquake. Steve, please.
I thought that filmed in colour.
Huh?
I thought that filmed in colour.
I thought your TV was a colour as well. So I mean.
Yeah. You ignoramus.
The word Steve is ignoramus.
No, that's
The blues behind
that's
no.
an ignoramus. I'm talking about ignoramus. Do you know what ignoramus is? Bloody college boy like you.
You're probably right.
I
It
don't
probably
know.
is ignoramus. actually.
With degrees, you know what I mean? It's always the ones with degrees that have got no brains, Randy. You know what I mean? Always the ones with degrees that
Io,
have
un
got
grosso rispetto
no
a tuo
brains and...
tuo padre.
I'm not gonna fall for the banana in the tailpipe.
No, what can you say in £44 probably the most pound for handling it. Have enough to blow your head.
Like you can let go of a bullet in my bloody brain and splatter and you'll fill this bloody room up with brains.
It'd have to be a big bullet.
Fill this room up with brains. More like it one speck on the ceiling and that's the end of Steve's brain.
No, I mean,
Thank God they've gone, Andy. Bloody hell, they make my room into a mess every time they come. Especially that cousin Steve. The tall, skinny, ugly one. Goes on and on and on and on.
Yeah. What's I gonna say? What do they do when they come round usually?
Well, they start messing about with my gun.
Yeah.
And they start trying to do...
What was the worst thing? They made your bedroom into a right... I mean, suddenly it's nice and tidy now, but... very tidy.
Where am I? Oh. Hello, Maria. Yeah, that was my mum's cousin Maria there. Promised to make me a cup of tea.
Can you just record the television?
Almost as supple as me, she is.
It's my favourite film. It's my favourite film. Can you just record the television? Quite a good film that. It really is quite good. Anyway, what was you saying, Sir Rumini? I wasn't listening. What?
Yeah, by the way, Andy, what's this I hear there's some idiot reckons he's almost my equal in dancing? Not my equal, because he can't be possibly that stupid, but he reckons he's, you know, almost my equal in dancing, you know?
I think actually it goes beyond that, actually, Minnie.
He reckons he's even my equal, or even better?
He thinks that he is actually beyond your capabilities.
Oh, Andy, he can't be serious, Andy. Surely not. Can't be serious, Andy. He cannot be serious, Andy.
No, I don't think he can be serious at all. You know what I mean, Harry? Yeah, well, to tell you the truth, I will try to get him to beat that. You know, without breaking his mum's furniture.
You mean trying to get him to beat that silly little warm-up display?
Yeah.
That's not proper dance, Andy. That's just messing about.
Yeah, well, actually, Minnie, I think that you should do something a little bit more than a warm-up to actually show your full capabilities and your full potential.
Do you reckon, Andy?
Because otherwise he'll say, you know, that he can beat that. You know?
Well, you know what I reckon is that I reckon my warm-ups are even more flash than his performances, to be honest with you. I hardly think it's worth bothering.
I got a feeling that too, but you've got to be convincing to this bloke, because I think he's a little bit more demanding in that sort of...
Well, you know, I'm sort of like the Fred Astaire of Greek dancing, the Gene Kelly of Greek dancing, the Wayne Sleep of Greek dancing.
And what is he?
He's the Lauren Hardy of Greek dancing, you know, the guy just can't dance, you know, there's nothing personal. I mean, the fact that I hate his guts has nothing to do with it, you know, the guy cannot move, you know. Yeah, Andy, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do in ultra slow motion a few moves. Hopefully this guy can practice a little bit and then we can have a meeting, and maybe there's a point in you lot watching to see who's better. Because otherwise, unless he learns a few bits and pieces from me, there's no chance. Certainly what he's learnt from you is no bloody point in doing. Okay. No?
So Andy, I hope you're watching a little bit carefully, all right, Andy? Because as we've been saying, we're going to set up the challenge, okay? And I think it could be the greatest bout, the clash. I don't think it can be called the Clash of the Titans, can it, Minnie? I think it. What can we call it?
The clash between the Titan and the Mujan.
Well, you heard that, Andy. I don't know if you're going to do anything about that, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, I think Minnie is actually warming up for a few more figures now, actually. I think Andy might skip actually this bit, to tell you the truth, Minnie. I think he might directly go straight to the dancing. What do you think?
Probably. He's not going to bother messing about with me, is he?
Yeah. You know, I probably think that this is all sort of unnecessary.
Will he?
Yeah. So, the challenge is set for this year's...
Challenge
is set for this year's...
Definitely.
I think, if not sooner, we'll have to wait for December 1988 at this year's Grosvenor, Minnie.
Huh?
We'll have to wait for December 1988 at this year's Grosvenor. Here we go. Okay, Andy, so you know what to beat this year. You've got another 8 months to practice. Okay, and I think Andy's got the message. Don't you think, Minnie?
Well, I think he's got the message, yeah.
And it's all set for the clash of the
Titan v the Mujan. And don't forget, Andy, I'm in a very, very confined and restricted environment. You should see me in a hall, mate.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're certainly looking forward to that.
Okay.
Yep. Let's have a look at your Cyprus album, Minnie.
Andy, please, must you?
All right. I can certainly see a lot of things in Cyprus, Minnie. This doesn't look like Cyprus. This looks like what does it look like?
Piccadilly Hall.
Doesn't even look like you, Minnie. Are you sure that's you?
That's definitely me, Andy. That's when I had a thin stomach.
What were they called then?
Hey?
What were this lot called?
It was called The Best Group on Earth.
Hmm?
It was called The Best Group on Earth, starring the most charismatic performer ever.
I can see a couple of old friends of mine there.
Can you really?
Yeah.
Who?
Pete the Elite.
Yeah, and Leia the Bear.
Yeah. Can you explain to me what happened that day when Pete the Elite was supposed to whatever? Do you remember?
Yeah, instead of doing the whatever, he did whichever. went the other way.
Oh dear, Minnie. What can we see here?
Yes, you can see a catastrophe. The only one ever in Minnie's career there. Yes, I'll have to admit it.
So, Minnie, are you absolutely sure about this challenge?
I sure am, and I tell you something, Andy. You're on.
And I put it to you this. Just because you wanted... Well, we can't go into too many details on this, but just because you wanted a sort of relaxing weekend, you know, you decided to let your friend Andy get shown up at the Gresham with someone called Pete the Elite. And the only reason he's got a name like Pete the Elite is that he's not an elite. He's an elite in the opposite sense.
Yeah, well, I remember the time you were quoting. I did have a prior engagement at the Grecian dancing club, but then a romantic involvement came up unexpectedly, and
I put it to
romance beats dance, if you know what I mean.
No, I put it to you that it was the other way round. The weekend was already planned. Okay.
Well, maybe if you put it that way, maybe the weekend was already planned. But you know, like I said, romance beats dance.
And
so I'd use you as a substitute, a poor substitute, I must admit, but a substitute nonetheless.
Well,
you, of course, being ultra typical, didn't turn up and let Pete the Elite down, who in turn let Leia the Bear down, and who in turn got very upset and we lost the contract.
I heard an unofficial rumour that they put Pete the Elite, because they were so desperate, they put him to dance by himself.
Well, that is an unofficial rumour, of course, but officially speaking, yes, it did happen, yeah.
What was his performance like?
Dismal.
Yeah?
Abysmal.
Okay, listen, there's another thing to go with this. I heard that the last time you partnered Pete the Elite, it was an unmemorable occasion. Is that correct?
Well, I wouldn't say it was a memorable occasion. It was definitely memorable for its unmemorableness. I had cousin Steve and Steve in the background jeering me, not cheering, which I will not forget when I'm on Famous and on TV, starring in the London Palladium with Jimmy Tarback.
I see. So it wasn't a very.
It was not one of my most charismatic performances. No, it was just slightly under par. It was a performance that Andy would be proud of.
Hey, listen. Talking about that performance, would you rate that as better or worse than the performance you had with Tommy?
Well, I think the performance I did with Tommy was definitely a one-off. Because
I think
we had a philosophical discussion on the dance floor in front of the live audience there. And so that was definitely a one-off, where he turned to me, opened his hands up and said to me, "What are you doing?" When, you know, obviously I was dancing, but the guy had never seen such a thing in his life. And he'd never seen the dance floor set alight, you know.
In other words, he thought it was a practice session in front of five...
He thought it was a practice session in front of 1,000 people, yeah.
Did he actually get some dancing done on that day, or...?
Well, it depends what you mean by dancing. Andy-type dancing, I suppose he done, but not, you know, not the...
proper. Just, you know, I thought he sort of just had his arms to his side, sort of saying, "What on earth?" you know, all the time.
No. Never.
But he did dance there.
He did. He did dance.
So, sorry, I didn't actually hear. Was that better or worse than the Pete the Elite experience?
Well, it depends what you mean by better or worse. Do you mean better as far as abysmal performances go? Because it was definitely a more abysmal performance. Or do you mean worse as far as, you know, good performances go? It was worse. It was like something that Andy would be proud of. What's that you're looking at there, Andy?
Well, I think that you know, we've just been looking at it. It's just the...
Were you looking at the old vintage performances?
Yeah. Where was it? At the Piccadilly?
Yeah, it was at the Piccadilly. Well, I only dance at the best places, you know. I don't dance in those shitholes like the Grecian in Ilford.
I was going to say, you've got a nice pair of boots there.
Yeah, they're very shiny. I can't get my feet into them no more, though. I had them specially made for me. It cost me 35 quid in 1977. It's like 200 quid now.
Yeah, this reminds me.
If I auction them, they'd go for 1,000.
Alright.
Because there's a lot of people who think that just because I put my feet in them boots, I just dance automatically. You see?
What was I going to say? I can see Leo the Bear in these photographs. He reminds me of that occasion at I think it was Carol's wedding at the Grosvenor, where he would. I think the word was never say die. Don't you think, Minnie?
I think so. Yeah.
Can you elaborate?
The guy forgot the old principle that every dance routine does have an ending. You know, and he tried to carry it on until the next wedding, the next week. You know, I don't know what he was waiting for, but you know, not bad.
I see. I mean,
You know,
he's still out there, isn't he?
I think he's still out there performing his Speedy Gonzales Cossack routine.
He's got Pete the Elite, his brother, to actually hum the music. Is that correct?
Pete the Elite hums the music, and yeah,
He does the rest.
he does the rest.
Well,
I think perhaps you should see a few more kicks, Andy, just to remind this little upstart Andy what it's all about. Yeah.
I mean, talking about never say, that's right, Minnie. Talking about never say die, I think I remember something else here as well. Never say die. I mean, he's in the soliciting business, isn't he?
He does solicit, yeah.
He does
He
do a
does
bit of
solicit.
soliciting.
He does do a bit of
Is that-
soliciting,
And there
yeah.
was another little vendor where he was totally in the wrong, but no, he brought the action to court and he was totally in the wrong, but the judge thought he was totally in the right.
Yeah, because I backed him up, you know. But I think you should see a few more kicks now, Andy.
You're the only witness I know, Minnie, who didn't actually witness anything.
Well, Andy,
Is
well,
that correct?
as this is on live television, Andy, I'm not going to say any more.
Just in case
Just in
it
case
could go back to court.
it could come back to court, because it was a very serious case, so you know that. And
Yeah.
this is very wrong of you.
Right, okay then.
Okay, then.
What was this about the kicks?
I think you should see a few more just to put everyone in their place.
Right, so what kind of kicks were you going to see?
Flash kicks.
Bruce Lee kicks?
Yeah.
Well, I can see Bruce Lee, Minnie. He does a lot of flash kicks. I suppose that's why you actually got him all over the wall. Is that correct?
Yes, correct. The guy did try to be as good as me, but he never quite made it, and he died a few years back. Just trying, you know. But
Just over...
I will now give you a chance to see the, you know, the greatest.
in action. Just to give Andy a bit more of an inferiority
Just to give Andy
complex.
a bit more of an inferiority complex, yeah, sure.
Yep. I think that has certainly put Andy in his place, Minnie. Don't you think?
He doesn't want to see more, does he? Because I find it very boring, outsmarting little upstarts like him. I'll show him just a few more kicks because I don't think you've seen enough of a variety there. No? One more?
One more for luck, do you think?
No?
Anyway, what I'm going to
What
do...
more do you want?
Yeah, what I'm going to do is on the same video, I think that I should actually record a few movements of his so that you can make your analysis.
Yeah, but don't forget, you've been filming me in a confined area after I've just had 3 sausage sandwiches and a cup of tea, which I'm sure you will understand is not conducive to the best performance, even by me. But catch me in the dancing hall and I'll show you what real dancing is about, you know. Keep a fire extinguisher nearby. Mustn't spit all over the place, it's rude. Keep a fire extinguisher nearby, Andy, for when that dance floor catches a light. Because catch a light it will.
It's certainly a nice view out of your window, Minnie.
It is.
What's that over there I can see in the distance?
That's where I get my inspiration. The topless sunbather.
Ah,
What do you think it was?
I thought it was a building.
Andy, you ready yet?
Well, I'm fully set. Right, you're here, I'm here.
Well, we're still missing little Andy, don't we?
Yeah, you know what he said to me, little Andy? He said, listen, as soon as I get up 9 o'clock in the morning, you know what he said? 9 o'clock in the morning, be there about 10.
About 10. Oh, well. 10 o'clock means about 2.
It's 2:45, he hasn't come yet, and we've got a deadline. We can't wait longer than 7 minutes past 3.
Oh,
the
well.
wedding starts in 60 seconds time.
60 seconds.
Well,
I'll
that's
tell you what, we
that's
got to
what-
move fast.
That's what it says on the invitation.
Oh, well. 60 seconds. Oh, we've got plenty of time.
Okay. Listen, well, the invitation, Jimmy. I've got a feeling that we're a bit late.
Well, he says 60 seconds. Let's have a look what it says on here. Well, you're right. About 45 seconds left. I'll tell you what. I told you, every time he says it's about 10 o'clock, Andy, you always add on about another 4 hours, so... yeah, about 2 o'clock, you know. Actually, it's 2:45 now, so...
I think the Grosvenor, the last Grosvenor, was a good example, eh, Jimmy? Remember when he said that he...
Last Grosvenor, yeah. Could have shot him.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way, I waited 10 minutes and I thought, that was it, you know. Gone. So, we're going to go now.
I don't think we're going to go right now because we're still waiting for Andy, Jimmy. You forgotten? Or shall we leave him?
No, I think we've got to leave him.
Listen,
otherwise we'll never get there.
I think...
Well, where are we supposed to be meeting him?
Here.
Here? I thought you was at the station.
Well, I don't know if he's going to be dressed at the station. What I suggest we do is... we'll give
What, has he got his clothes here?
Huh? No, I told him to bring his clothes. But I don't know what he's done. He might have got dressed and come.
Oh, right, yeah. That's
true. What I'm going to do is, it looks like, it doesn't look like he's going to turn up now, and the wedding has actually in fact started down there. So what I'm going to do is let my dad open the door and we go to the church and we'll come back and collect him. If he's here when we come back at 5.
At 5 o'clock? You didn't say it's going to be that long.
We look up the street, down the street, and we look up the street. As far as the eye and the video camera can see. But still no sign of Andy. Anyway, Dad, listen. If he comes, can you just make him comfortable? And we're going to go to church and whatever. And whenever he comes, that is a whatever and whenever.
You mean if?
If he comes as well. If he comes. Right, after this long wait for Andy, we've just been to the church, haven't we, Jimmy?
Well,
we've been to the church as well. I know it seems like only a few seconds ago we were waiting for him, but it has been quite a few hours now.
It's been about an hour and a half now. As you can still see both sides of the road, he's still not here.
He just phoned up with, who was it? Who wasn't there with him?
I don't know, some green cab driver. I think about he comes in the car now. What's that? No, that's not him. Wait a minute, what do we see up here? What do we see? Come over here, Jim. What do we see? Can you just film this?
He's not going to come with a cab. He's not going to come with a car. I think you better actually zoom in, folks. Zoom in, and I think... Well. We expected you with a Rolls Royce, Andy. How come you're walking now? How come you're walking? Yeah, who was that bloke? We thought it was the cab driver. It wasn't.
Behind the back, the glasses of the thing, it looks like he has the contact lenses on again.
I just want this as for posterity and on the film. I told Andy, he said to me, be around here 11 o'clock in the morning. It's now 4:05 in the afternoon. Missed the church, but maybe...
That's right, 4:05.
Maybe we can catch something else a bit later.
Yeah.
Hey, Jim.
We shall see.
The hell.
The hell? What did you say just then?
Well.
Oh, well.
But I'll wait and see.
Make sure that every hair's in place, Andy. You never know what could be done.
There's that little bit there, that little bit there.
There's one hair out of place here.
Oh, hang on. Dandruff here, hang on.
Alright, get to that. There's one over here.
Alright, maybe we'll get a bit of a nice little whatever later.
Oh yeah, the eyebrows as well.
Right, so we didn't exactly go to the wedding, did we, Jim?
Oh, you're bloody filming there, ain't you? You're supposed to be saying all this.
Listen, not too much swearing because the parents might actually see this one day.
Sorry, I don't class that swearing in my vocabulary.
What happened, Andy? Why aren't we there?
Well, I don't know, there's a certain person called Andrew, promised there would be 3 places. And apparently there seems to be some mix-up somewhere along the line.
Well, I'll tell you the real truth. The real truth is that we went to the place. We actually went to the place. And we got there and we looked for 3 places, but you see we only found 2, which means only my mum and dad were invited. So if only my mum and dad are invited, that means that I'm not invited. Which
means we're not invited.
Well, it goes a little bit too much, don't you think? I mean, if they're surprised to see me, they'll be totally surprised to see a few other extra participants or whatever.
Yeah, I'll probably pop in there. I'll say hello, see if there's anybody wants to ring my neck in their place as well.
Yeah, but listen, are you going to take my friend the cameraman? Because a lot of viewers want to actually see what it's like.
Well, see if I take this Mr. Cameraman, I'll friend the camera.
Are you going?
It would seem really embarrassing. So
Are you?
I'll have to pop in there first and then take the camera after you.
By the way, what's that you're drinking?
This is a mixture of
Milk?
By the way, we're at the Ukraine Partner. This is where I usually come in every lunchtime to actually have something. But usually I'm on my own, so. But this time, it looks like I've got a bit of company this time. Smart company, I must admit. But company. Yeah, I don't know what Jimmy broke out in fits there for, but.
Well, company, yeah, smart. Look at it, I look like a pigsty.
Well, I mean, you said it, Jim. Let's see what else is going on at the Ukraine.
Does the waiter want to be a film star?
Jimmy, don't draw attention to ourselves, please. Yes, I think I think people get an idea what it's like here. Sorry we ruined your evening, Andy, but but we don't feel too guilty because of what you made us go through this morning. Remember?
Yeah, well, I mean, what can I say?
Anyway, listen. Do you think you can undertake the mini challenge on Thursday when I bring the camera down?
Well, I'm afraid I'm going to have to disappoint Minnie. Unfortunately. You know, I would oblige him, show him my
Figures.
my superior talent for dancing.
But what's the excuse?
But, just the other day, I mean, I was practicing, just doing a bit of stretching. I sprained my right leg, you see, my right muscle over here, just here.
No, I'll have to point. I'll have to point out.
Kicks anymore, you see.
I'll have to point out, Minnie, that he's not going to get away this easily. And this Thursday, the mini challenge will be undertaken.
That's all right. Not bad.
Right, what's I going to say? Listen, we're going to be going to Sam's. Me and Jimmy are going to get changed into our more casual wear. Of course, you won't be able to, not being able to go home. I've always said, Andy, you can dress up a dog's dinner. It doesn't matter how much you dress it up, Andy. Underneath, it's still a dog's dinner. We'll be testing the old Alice tonight. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that should be a good test there.
A good test to find out who is the success and who is the dog. What do you think, Jim?
Well, I don't know, but I'm eating it.
Let's get a little closer to your dog's dinner, Jimmy. And there it is.
Alright, that's really put me off now. I'm supposed to be eating this,
As we spy through the bushes, folks, to find out what's going on in the Ukraine on the 8th of May 1988. And Andy is really getting into his half pounder there, as we can
This
see.
is the UK half pounder.
Yeah,
What's it taste like, Andy?
a proper Ukrainian half pounder.
Oh, dinner.
Yeah, but don't say it too loud because you never know.
You might end up being one yourself if you keep that up.
So Andy, it looks like it may have been a disaster at the wedding, but I'm telling you, you better not be one tonight, eh? You've got to have a bit more, you have to be a bit more confident there. This is the Indian rear field trick. No, sorry, the opposite. The Indian disappearing act. I wish I could do the Indian rope trick. I will do it next time. I just haven't got the rope yet. Cheers.
Sort of. Yeah. See chips. See Andy doing something with that Soviet. Reminds me of a bloody load.
Well, I have to record all this because you know what I might do? When I'm here on Tuesday or Wednesday by myself, sitting usually over there in that corner.
Yes, thanks. See ya. Cheers.
Right.
Enjoy your meals.
Yeah, it was quite good. It was quite good. little does he know, eh Jim? Anyway, what was I going to say?
Actually, this is being shown at the nearest cinema.
So what's I going to say? If I one day this week, when I'm sitting over there in the corner by myself, I can play this back and actually pretend that you are actually here. Is that correct?
You could do that, but I mean, to go through the same fake twice in 1 week, you know, it's bad enough the first time, isn't it?
I think you could be right there, Jimmy.
What do you do now?
Let's have a look at one of the old.
Well, Andy, what do you think of the film? Hey, Jimmy?
No comment.
Hiding from all the people just in case they find out about all these.
We were not here on the day of Summers.
The 8th of May 1988. Is that correct?
Don't speak English, right?
They're all going to know, Andy, all of them. Thank you.
Σάββατο βράδο είμαι πλάι σου, κοριτσάκι μου, σ' έχω αγκαλιά. Σάββατο βράδο και για χάρη σου κάνουν έρωτα μπουζούκια και βιολιά. Σήκω να χορέψεις, τις καρδιές να κλέψεις, σήκω να μαγεύσεις όλο το δουλειά. Σήκω να σε δουνε κι όλοι τους να
Looks like Joanna was here last night and she left me a little message. Doesn't really say much, only that she got her Beetle. I got mine as well. I could have given you that one. Yeah, it saved you the money. Anyway, and also that Anna's passed the driving test. God help us all on the road. You know what I mean? Anyway, we'll go and have a look at this Aftergivito tonight, I think, and we'll see what kind of junk it is.
να μαγεύσεις όλο το δουλειά. Σήκω να σε δουνε κι όλοι τους να πούνε τι ωραία πούνε τούτη βραδιά. Σάββατο βράδο είμαι πλάι σου, κοριτσάκι μου, σ' έχω αγκαλιά. Σάββατο βράδο είμαι δίπλα σου, κοριτσάκι μου, μάγισσα Ρωμινιά. σαν το μέλι σου, σαν τη γλύκα σου, σου το ορκίζομαι, δεν έχει άλλη καμιά. Σήκω να χορέψεις, τις καρδιές να κλέψεις, σήκω να μαγεύσεις.
Τα 2 εβδομάδες στο χώρο εργασίας. Είναι ευχαριστή το Σαββάτο.
Η κοπέλα για να εργαστεί σαν bookkeeper με γνώσεις λογιστικών πληκτρών. Πήγα σε κομπιούτερ θα θεωρηθεί επιπρόσθετον
I got the school tape.
Did you? Why?
I got up so early in the morning.
You know,
like you, Dad.
you know what does it mean? It
Sometimes.
means it's like a soldier. He goes to fight and he forget his gun.
Yeah, it's not only that. I mean, like, sometimes even I may forget it. You know, occasionally in the morning, Dad.
Yeah.
What am I talking about?
I don't know.
You know, sometimes a lot of people leave it at home. Dad. You know. But anyway.
Ξέρετε ικανοποιητικός μισθός για το κατάλληλο πρόσωπο και εργάζεστε σε ευχάριστο και μοντέρνο γραφείο.
I think that's pretty tiring work again. I think it's time for tea.
Good.
What are you looking for again? You're looking for...
Hair size 12.
You used to be a film star, Pretty, and you're still shy of the camera.
I'm not shy. I'm not shy at all.
There should be plenty of pesh there anyway. There should be plenty of pesh there.
14 here.
If it's all 14, all the 14s are in one box and all the 12s are in another box.
Yes, dear Andrea, είδα φλασπασινούλα από την άλλη μπάντα.
Isn't that the way they're supposed to be?
Of course, αυτή εδώ πέρα πρέπει να είναι other way. Is there any way to come to the other way?
Well, not really. Dad, I think the docket's too big. Do you?
Dog is too big.
Yeah.
Can we make it smaller? Can you use the micro computer?
I can use the micro on this camera to make it smaller, but any smaller...
Just a minute, you mean with this costing here, we may have 25% cabbage?
25% is not what I would have made it, Dad. I always make it a little bit more
So,
than
in
that.
other words, if this one is 1,000 the doge, we may have about 300 overs.
Yep. 1,000 little titchy dresses like those.
So business.
We're talking about 1,000 dresses, Dad. You must be talking about these little things here. We can make 1,000 of these. And also, that's Andrea's coat. Can you see it in the corner? I don't know if you can actually see it. That's Andrea's coat. That was left there, hanging there, and it's been there since August 1981.
How about my trouser over there?
That has been in there. That has been there since August 1553.
So now it's one arctic.
You're telling me. Yes, sir. It does look a little grotty now. Well, now I forgot the tape. I hope this song will do for tonight's performance at the school, Dad.
Shadasam with on cafe, which means I'm going to get a lot of money.
Κάθε μέρα πήγαινε στην ακροφανεσιά πάνω σε... Ο Οδυσσέας βασίλευσε αρκετά.
Watch carefully and you might get a few tips. fact a lot of tips and a lot of tricks. Things that have never been seen before, for instance. Like cutting a piece perfectly. Wait, let me just see if I can do it. Watch this, I bet you no one can do this, watch. How's that for a trick? Well, it's time again. Again, and again. Take a deep breath this time. I think a very deep breath. That must be the longest breath I've ever held in my whole life. Anyway, what do you think, Leon? Do you think you and me can handle the children this week, or are you going to bow out of this one?
Yeah,
what do you think, Leon?
Can I handle him?
Alright, every time I count, you do something, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, next. Alright, leave it there. Close a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. There we go. Next you can do it, folks. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Two planes, and then the girls are going to come out. Alright? Anyway, look at these faces carefully. This is the next generation. And God help their dance teacher. If they're anything like this when they grow up. Take the famous one.
Sabe
be certain to give you one.
Oh, wait till the camera's on.
Listen, what's going to happen?
Okay. Is the camera?
All right, listen. Well,
is the camera open?
Right. All right, listen. What we'll do, listen. Seriously, what we'll do is we'll take it. We'll take it in turns, all right? For instance, Andy might be able to turn up one week.
No, he has one like this.
Leave on doing this. Don't believe I'm doing this.
Right, listen, can you just tell me what's going to happen so I know, so we can know what we're going to do?
Well, hairdresser.
My tie that he wears to school, like that.
Your tie.
Andy, can you explain also the viewers what exactly happened there? Can you explain what happened there? And where is your hat as well?
Sorry.
At least, you should have at least brought a wig, Andy. Seriously. On stage?
No chance.
I'm not dancing there. Where?
Well, you lot are dancing, I'm not.
Where? What's the date?
I'm just saying that every year they have one at St George's. So.
I'm busy. No way. No way.
This is what I'm going to do. When the bloke asks...
I'm due for
Listen, when the
when's the day of it? I'm on holiday. Okay, I'm working.
Listen, it's not decided yet, but I know that it's every year.
I'm just joking.
Get lost.
Yeah.
Anyway, listen, I'm just going to warn you, so listen, you've got a bad leg, what about you lot? You've got a broken leg.
I'm going to have
Expected flu.
And maybe measles.
Expected flu in midsummer. It's bound to be a hot summer. What have you got, Jess?
I'm on holiday.
You're on holiday, Anna?
Which is nice. No, I'll take her into the middle park. She's got a spray jacket on. She had it on, she's trying it on for size.
Spray jacket?
Yeah, because she's due to have an international price to get.
That's for
John.
John.
Like a nurse.
Right.
I'm a nurse.
Alright, okay.
I'm a nurse, like big.
Well,
Did you know your cousin was on?
And today we have Andrew posing in the camera with Joanna with a massive ass just looking through the box.
I'm tired.
What was that? I didn't quite hear that.
You certainly got a lot of dancing.
Yeah, it feels like typical sort of Thursday.
I did an operation. I took someone's kidneys out today. I took someone's kidneys out today.
Can you just pretend to switch because some officials are coming?
Was it make it look good?
It's to do for cars, it's not for car. Actually, I'll get it for cars.
Very dark.
No, you shouldn't have even had it on. That is dark. That is dark. Should have done a lighter brown.
Andy should have pulled his hair out, wrong ball.
Andy needs a wig. I'll get you a toupee.
Never mind, Andy.
Toupee for Andy. Them tablets for Andrew to keep him young. What else? these health tablets. You drink them, they give you energy, right?
What, you think
Yeah.
there are some more interesting people over here, such as myself, for instance. But there are some less interesting people a little bit further on as well.
Oh, look at that hair, Anne.
I think that has been mentioned before. I think we should forget this generation and concern ourselves with the next generation.
What is that? What is that?
This generation isn't worth it, is it?
Well, then what? What the world has to offer?
Well, anyway, I don't know. I mean, you know.
I mean, look at that plonker there. Look at the duo donker. Look at the state of that shirt.
Let me dance this and you just film it, yeah? Right, okay. Can you get your plate? Can you find it from the beginning? The beginning of, what is the beginning of, John?
A song.
What you
Boys, can you get your position, please?
Wait, you're down.
Problems with the old generation, I've got problems with the new generation.
You've got problems with everything, Andrew. Face on it, boss.
Okay, now 20 minutes to go. And it's an end of another Thursday. 20 minutes to be a long time here, I'm telling you. What's it, Andy? What's that? Where the church is from here. Remember the time when Jimmy and Jimmy's girl Mandy came in here?
Yeah.
Do you remember? And she put me off my food. Anyway, go on, Andy.
Right.
Wasn't a bad meal this week, was it?
So I'm going to pop in the back floor.
Where's that?
To my office.
Alright then, Andy.
So I've got a few things to finish off though. And,
your little business.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Andy, okay.
Well, actually, here at the vineyard, Andy said he would never come in. Have to keep it a bit low. The present company is very, very close. What was that you were saying, Andy? You were telling me something. You know something? I was counting how many minutes you were in the smallest. I think it must go for a record. Only 15 minutes, Andy. That's not bad for you, is it? What do you think? Tell me the truth.
Well, I think, considering I never went there.
Did you go in?
No.
You just sort of looked at it and said, nah, not this time. Explain to us what you were doing, Andy. As long as it won't put us off our next meal. Just explain to us what you were doing.
I was a little Govinda.
What the kind of flicks that you and Jimmy seem to enjoy?
Don't start that again.
As we all saw in the previous adventure, didn't we?
Don't start that again.
As I say, you know that Milton wants to wring your neck, Andy. You really want to wring your neck. There's a whole lot of people that want to wring his now.
That's what makes it that even, you know.
Yeah, you know, I mean...
I just hope they wring his neck before he rings mine.
Yeah, I mean, you know, leaving me and my friends down there to foot the bill, you know, at that restaurant.
I feel that makes up for us gate crashing.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, makes up for you gate crashing. Remember, he still wants to wring your neck, not just to come into the wedding. That's not the reason. You know what the reason is, Andy?
What's that?
That you're solely on one scene in his wedding. You were on his video more times than Milton is, Andy. That's why he wants to wring your neck. Not because you were there.
No, I'm just better looking at him, that's why he's jealous.
Or not guilty, Andy? Tell me the truth.
That's not my fault we never got them dance, did it?
Guilty or not guilty, Andy, i.e., you know, for being at his wedding, for eating his food, for doing this. You know that Milton wanted to send you the bill?
Well, hold on. I didn't eat his food.
Huh?
I didn't have anything to eat.
But he doesn't know that, does he? You know, he assumes that you had a meal, he assumes that you had a bottle of wine. You know?
No.
And what about the music, the free music that was provided?
Yeah.
You know, all this costs money, you know? And I'm telling you that, you know, Milton understands this, and you understand this, and everybody understands this, and I think you should wring each other's neck, really.
It's quite nice and peaceful, actually, at the vineyard, isn't it, Andy? It's not like the Indian, is it? There's one or two there's a few extra people here that the Indian never sees. What do you think, Andy?
Need to do a bit more business, don't they?
Yeah. It's probably that Zorba the Greek dancer they have. You know, he's the main attraction.
Yeah, I think we should be starting in about 5 minutes. It's quite a good show, actually.
The bar is not manned. You know, this is a total lack of efficiency, don't you think, Andy?
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, here we go. Once we get the pizza bread, we should be okay. What do you think, Andy? Yeah? Dig the crazy beat.
So I heard you in here, you came in here into the vineyard with your album, is that correct, Andy?
Yeah, I did that one day, yeah. It was a couple of weeks ago, I think it was on a Saturday.
Yeah, I think Christine Nixon photographed it, did she not?
Yeah, well, so rumour has it, which is fact.
And one photograph you happened to nick, correct me if I'm wrong, is one with her and Jimmy, is that correct?
You could say that.
And Jimmy got to hear about it, God knows how.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I can't remember.
It slipped from somebody who told somebody else who told somebody else, and it happened to get to Jimmy's ears. And
it's all bounced off somewhere, yeah.
And I heard that Jimmy got the wrong idea.
Yeah, so I gathered on the way home from the car, you know.
You know, what did he think again, Andy?
I didn't quite catch that.
He thought that like little girls have pictures of their pin-ups, you know, George Michael and stuff.
Yeah.
He thought that he was the new pin-up. He was the new George Michael.
He thought, you know, he was it. You know, his chance, his dream had come true.
And what was he gonna do? He was gonna phone her up, was he?
Yeah. What if he's phoned her up?
Yeah, I wonder. We never did ask. I mean, what's her name? I'm sitting over there. But I was going to ask her actually. I wasn't actually going to come out with it. I was just going to say sort of, oh, did Jimmy ring you up and said it was the wrong number? Oh, Jimmy, I don't know what you've done this time. But let us know, will you? You never know.
Yeah. Listen. I got my suit ready.
Your suit for the wedding?
The wedding, yeah.
What was I going to say? We might later tonight actually ask the person concerned if there was one of these little discreet telephone calls. But somehow I don't think it's going to happen. But you never know. You just stay tuned to this channel.
I think he's. I heard a rumour that he was going back with Mandy.
Listen,
because no one else would have him.
I am eating my dharma. I do not want to be caught off my dharma, please. For God's sake, Andy. You know, even the name. Actually, you've got a spectre in it. I can actually see Mandy sitting down there as she did that fatal day at Georgina's wedding. That's why I couldn't dance properly. Remember that bad dance I did with Kumbala?
Yeah.
I did a bad dance. You know, I did a slip.
Yeah, I was shocked. I mean, I was wondering what happened.
I saw Mandy and I slipped. And she had a cheek to say I danced badly as well, just because Timmy thought I did. Talk about, you know, someone backing somebody up. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, everyone else liked my dance, except Timmy. And of course, Mandy, who had to back up Timmy.
Of course.
As I said, maybe later tonight we might ask the person in question, if there was such a phone call this week.
We might actually put the big question. Pop the big question.
Well, you never know. Just stay tuned to this channel. Because it could happen. Cheers.
Cheers.
Christine, can you come over here a second, please? Listen, Christine, did you get any mystery phone calls this week? Any at all?
Not that I know of.
Nothing at all?
No. Maybe, I think, I got a phone call, but then the phone just got slammed down.
It got slammed down?
But then someone else rang, then it was the wrong number, but I don't know.
Alright. Anyway, you put the age-old mystery to rest.
Who's that?
Huh?
Who's that?
No, it's alright. The only thing I can say is we know all the answers now, and Jimmy's delusion of grandeur wasn't such a delusion. It was just a grandeur.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go along with that. I don't know if Jimmy does. We'll have to ask him.
Maybe he's saving it for next week.
That could be.
You know, I mean. So, what were you saying?
Well, I come to ask you guys if you like my
Your cooking?
Yes.
Was it you who actually cooked up the meal?
It looks like it.
So, if there's any complaints, we have to pass them to you mean?
Yes,
Can I ask a question? Why is the dharma off a little bit? Off colour? It's not the usual dharma, is it?
I don't really make the dharma. My waiter makes the dharma.
Well, I can't remember how long it's been since we last came in, but it's not the same, is it?
It's not the same.
No. It tastes the same.
Does it taste the same? It doesn't look the same. Whoever made that dough, I believe it or not, it's just put that dough now.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's showing it's there.
Alright, where's the culprit? Where is he?
Alright?
Yeah?
George, can you come here a minute, please? Now, we are... Yes, George will be here in a minute. You just realised that...
George has got something better than to be on TV.
George, I would like to explain to you guys that the dough might taste the same, but it doesn't look the same. Can you tell me the reason for that? And you in the camera, so smart.
It tastes the same and don't look the same.
It tastes exactly the same.
How would you boys like it? We'll especially make it for you. Would you like it black or yellow or blue?
Is it artificial colour or is that the actual official colour?
No, it should be pink.
It should be pink?
Yeah.
I think George will carry away in the bread.
We'll believe you, but I don't know about the viewers. Cheers, Andy, and I think it's time to leave. It's getting a little bit late now. Anyway, pick up your... Yeah, you still got some coke there. Cheers then. Alright then. So, what a day to choose the wedding, eh? With Lost in Space, with the Sky Pirate on at this channel, and England's challenge at the European Championship on the other. What's going to happen here? And oh dear, I don't know if England will actually win this match against the Republic of Ireland, but let's see what's happening with Lost in Space anyway. The Sky Pirate looks as if he's making himself well at home.
Tell me something, Captain Tucker. How long have you been in space?
A long time, a very long time.
Γιατί όλοι μαλώνουνε, γιατί όλοι χωρίζουν, γιατί το ρίχνουν στην τρελή και την αγάπη βρίζουν. Όλα για το φουστάνι που τη ζημιά τι κάνει, όλα για το φουστάνι όλα. Όλα για το φουστάνι και μια ζωή δεν φτάνει, όλα για το φουστάνι όλα. Όλα για το φουστάνι που τη ζημιά τι κάνει, όλα για το φουστάνι όλα. Όλα για το φουστάνι και μια ζωή δεν φτάνει, όλα για το φουστάνι όλα. Για όλα όσα γίνονται υπάρχει μια αιτία, υπάρχει μια εξήγηση και μια δικαιολογία. Γιατί όλοι τρελαίνονται, δεν ξέρουνε τι θέλουν, γιατί σαν γράμμα το φιλί το πάνε και το φέρνουν. Όλα για το φουστάνι που τη ζημιά τι κάνει, όλα για το φουστάνι.
Hello and welcome again to this regular thing that we do when there's space on the end of the DVD. To actually tell you how I did this particular DVD, why I did certain things, and etc, etc. So this one we're talking about is Volume 2. That's the original VHS version of it, 3 hours, which I've split onto 2 discs, and you've just been watching the first one. So what can I say about Volume 2? Well, to be honest with you, I've tried to make it better. Volume 1 was a good introductory volume, but Volume 2, okay, it's more of the same, I'll admit that. Something you should never do with video editing is start with a dull scene. Let me go and get to the first scene. So we have a scene here now with cousin Steve you know, the friends from hell, in fact. The reason I've kept this scene in is two reasons here. Is first of all, I mean, Steve, for instance, I haven't seen since that day, 20 years. And I think it captures the character, the madness of Steve. So, but there's also another reason why I've kept it. So it started from volume 1, where Andy said this.
Mini up there. I heard that he said he was a better dancer than me.
So Minnie saw this video. And then we had this response from Minnie. And you see.
By the way, Andy, what's this I hear that some idiot reckons he's almost my equal in dancing? Not my equal. Can't be
So.
stupid, but he reckons he's, you know, almost.
This isn't a very good scene, but as I said, it introduces a challenge, and you'll see. Let me just wind this on a little bit more.
Actually, it goes beyond that. Actually, Minnie. He reckons he's even my equal, or even better. He thinks that he is actually beyond your capabilities. That's he can't be serious about it.
So Minnie tries to, well, basically act Flash, and he sets up this mini challenge, which is the ongoing theme throughout the volume. Okay, so that's that scene, and I found the original of this tape on this volume. 60% is from the original mini 8mm tapes. So I actually found all the other bit. Now there was a lot of other scenes in there that I was actually going to keep, but in the end I decided it was too rude. It was too rude to keep all the scenes. So we'll move on to the next scene. Okay, and I mean, to be totally honest with you, it's not good. Okay, so what it is just to well, Andy was late. That was one of the points for the wedding. But the point is we were invited to this wedding, and it was supposed to be 3 of us. My parents were supposed to go, and I was supposed to go. But my mum and dad didn't want to go. So what I did is I said, oh well, I'll use the other 2 places for my friends, Jimmy and Andy. But when we got to the place, suddenly there was only 2 you know, places on the board. So they'd only expected my parents to come. So how could I explain, when I wasn't supposed to be there, how I brought 2 friends along? So we end up in the Ukrainian restaurant. I mean, I wanted to cut this out the first time I did it. It's not visual. There's nothing there really. But the reason that I kept it, and I'll tell you, is that Jimmy, who I hardly ever saw, well, who's hardly on the videos to be fair, and here he is here.
This dinner, we'll be testing the other tonight. What do you think? Yeah, I think that should be a good test there. A good test to find out who is the success and who is the dog. What do you think, Jim?
Okay, so let me just stop that. I kept that because Jimmy was in that scene. Okay, now we have a factory scene, which is actually I found the original tapes, as I said, and I found extra scenes in there, and I really like that. I actually extended that scene. I think it's a really nice scene. But I want to play you this particular piece of footage. Now, this is not how you saw it earlier, okay? This is how it was originally. I really was acting clever. I really thought I could throw a piece that I've just cut from the lei up into the air, spin it, and it would lie flat. It's probably possible if I had really pinned it and really tried hard to really get it stable. But I tried, and this is actually what happened in reality.
Watch this, I bet you no one can do this, watch.
didn't work, and my mum comes up, and my mum's really shocked. She's saying, you know, is that a real flap? It was actually a real flap that I flipped there. Okay, we now have this wedding scene, and I can tell you this was the very first wedding, to be fair, okay, where it was like the fly on the wall video of a wedding. It wasn't, you know, if this is a key thing, you know, if you're going to take your video camera to the wedding, you have to decide what you're going to do. If you're going to film the wedding, obviously, but if you're going to film the wedding as the video man would film it, you might as well just borrow the videotape after the guy's done it, because it's just not worth it. So what we do is we have the wedding as, it's like a bubble. You have the people on the table and their personalities come out in that scenario, and the wedding is just a backdrop. Well, the way this was done is it wasn't quite decided, you know, which way you were going to do it. So you tried to be both. You can't be both. And in the end, you got me talking to Andy at the table, and people are, you know, people who watch this video want to actually see the video. So I had to. Well, this was extremely long. This wedding. So what I've done is I've cut it severely, and some of the scenes where I'm talking to Andy and you can't really understand what we're saying, that was cut. It's really an uncomfortable wedding to watch, and there's nothing wrong with this wedding. This was Marrows Wedding. We'd done a wedding in Volume 1, which was, see, that one was just straightforward dancing, and, you know, and all our characters dancing, which worked very well. This one, it didn't work that well. It should have really been done differently. I think because it was the first one like that, a lot of lessons were learnt, but a lot of scenes were cut out of this wedding. Okay, I'm going to show you a scene now where I think this is exactly what I'm trying to do with the volumes. I wish every scene was like this, but every scene cannot be like this, because when you take out a camera and point it at people, people suddenly become unnatural, and really sometimes you're getting a video, well, I can say most of the time, an unnatural video, but that's the kind of things that you use and everything, you accept those things. This is how I wish the video was all the time. Now we're in the factory and I'm laying up with Nassau. So I'm on the other table, I'm on the other side of the table, and can you see I'm laying up with her, she's laying up, but it looks like I'm working through the eyes of the camera. Okay, and in a minute you're going to see Nassau's eyes as I lay up, and that to me is the magic of doing this kind of stuff. You know, that's the kind of thing that I always try to capture. Okay, now you see it. We're on the other side now, and through Nassau's eyes, and you see me laying up, and that's what I think is pretty unique. Okay, let me find you this scene, and I'm just going to play it, and if you notice anything about this particular scene. Okay, we're dancing Chamigo, and I don't know if you noticed what just happened, so what I'll do is I'll wind it back. I'll wind it back. Now, we have a girl at the end called Gina, and I really thought I'd never find a dancer as bad as Andy, to be honest. But if you have a look, she realises she's making a mistake, and she holds her hand up to her face as if holding her hand up to her face, you won't see her on the video making all the mistakes. So I thought that was pretty funny. So as I was saying, we have 60% of this video was saved from the original 8mm tapes. You'll find that in the middle of the Indian restaurant scene, that is the point where you suddenly see, in the middle of that scene, you suddenly go into the VHS copy mode. And I'm just going to play you just a little piece of a video just to compare the original with the copy. So on the left hand side you see the original, and on the right hand side you see the copy. If you didn't see the original, I don't think it's so bad. I mean, we have to accept it because I find that more volumes now have actually been deleted. So we're going to have to accept the fact that we're going to have to transfer these as VHS. So that's about it. Okay, now this is something that I was saying before. With Minnie making the challenge, we needed to finish the volume so that wouldn't keep going. So he's actually challenged Andy to a duel, the Clash of the Titan. Minnie called it the Clash of the Titan versus the Muya. Anyway, I finished it off by doing a Eurovision Style climax. So I want to play how it was originally.
And welcome folks to the exciting conclusion to the mini challenge. Minnie has also challenged Wayne Sleep and Gene Kelly, folks.
So that didn't really. I'm a compare. You can easily tell that I think it was time to do something better. And if you have a look at the scoreboard, all that is just stickers from VHS stickers. You can even see the scotch on there, and they're little numbered stickers which actually move when the numbers change. And I thought, well, we're living in the 21st century. We've got to do this a little bit different. So this is what I came up with. So that gives you your Eurovision feel. Okay, put a bit of clapping in the oil. And you see, I made it glitzy, and I put some echo, I put some stadium echo on that voice. And then I changed the scoreboard, all created by me with the photos. And they change, as it were. And when they talk to the Cyprus jury, you hear the echo, and this is exactly how the Eurovision was back 20 years ago.
These are the results of the Cypriot jury.
Anyway, to be fair, we were really bad to Andy, but this time I thought I'd be a bit more sympathetic. So I had the audience actually booing and everything every time Andy got the minus points. So he has the audience behind him. You know, you can hear the groans. You can hear the groans in the background. You know.
Down to Minnie in the lead. But wait a minute, folks.
So his mum phones up and gives him the points, and I actually make him the swazziest dancer in history. Just have a look at this. You can't get much better than that, can you? I'm very proud of this. I'm very proud of this. You know, this scene didn't take 5 minutes to do, but I think it's worth it, and much better than the original way that was done. Okay. So that's the conclusion with this volume. I think that the volumes at this particular stage are still on a learning curve. There was one or two bad sequences. There was another scene where I had a friend of mine come from America that I had to cut out completely because it had nothing to do. I wanted the volumes to talk about a particular time period, not a time period before. So I've cut that out. I'll put that on somewhere later. Overall, I think the volume is good. I mean the Indian restaurant, for instance, I think is I think that's a relaxing scene. I liked it. The kids giving me hell at the school. As I said, it was early days in the proceedings. I think it's I think I've done a good job of editing those. So I hope you enjoy it, especially Andy's Eurovision dance thing, and I think I'm going to leave it there and just close out on that spectacular scene. I think it's spectacular. So hopefully I'll see you again if there's space on the DVD. So ciao for now and enjoy.
Un secreto entre los dos.